Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of June 29th through July 5th. And during that time, we will have a waxing crescent moon. And a waxing crescent is a really good time of heightened senses. It's when we can kind of buckle down and get things done and just have a very clear head, the ability to concentrate. We then have the first quarter moon, which is kind of the opposite. And this comes in on the 3rd or the 4th, depending on where you are. And that's when we can feel, a little bit impatient and a little distracted, impulsive, that sort of thing. We do have a holiday on the 4th when that should be going on. So hopefully you have the day off and you can just go ahead and give in to that I can't focus energy. But then, of course, we'll be right back to it with the waxing gibbous just after. So keep those moon energies in mind as you move through your weekend. Happy 4th of July. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Scorpio. So, of course, please keep that in mind. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, your overall message for this reading: the energy is gaining momentum. Okay, let's see what you guys have going on for the week. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump my camera there. Kind of clumsy today. And Scorpio, as I am shuffling the tarot, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button right there. It's really super easy for you to do. And, do remember that you need to be signed into YouTube or Google to get that accomplished. I know there was a time when I was like, I don't know how to subscribe. And my kids had to explain it, like they have to explain all the technologically important things to me because I just, I'm not that bad, but yeah, I didn't really understand how YouTube worked until someone explained it to me. So if you need someone to do that, find a younger person and say, hey, how does this work? Anyway, if you hit that like and subscribe button, it just pushes my videos out. It helps me with the algorithm a little bit, and I would really, really appreciate that. So I will give you a moment to do that just right now while I'm getting this shuffling done. And thank you so much. If you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community. I've noticed that my video count tends to match my subscriber count, which tells me that everyone that's subscribed, almost everyone, is watching the videos weekly. And I really do appreciate that. And I hope it's just I'm becoming a part of your routine. And that's nice for me. That's why I'm here. So I love that. Thank you so much. All right. As I'm shuffling here, my weekly reminder is that you keep a spiritual journal. Sometimes we don't recognize the patterns that are evolving in our life when it comes to, our spiritual life or our experiences that we're having or things that we're learning or, maybe even synchronicities that you're having, dreams that you're having, even encounters. But if you're kind of keeping track of that, it just helps when in the future, when you go back and look and you see those emerging patterns or see things that you have adopted as ways of being into your life or things that you maybe wanted to adopt and kind of forgot. So keeping a spiritual journal is just a really good idea. And that is my weekly advice to you. All right, Scorpio, June 29th through July 5th. The energy is gaining momentum. Let's see what you guys have going on. Your overall energy is the 5 of Cups. So feeling a little bit sad right now, maybe a little bit, the word stuck just immediately comes to mind. Feeling a little sad, a little bit stuck. But if some energy is gaining momentum, hopefully it's going to be a positive energy and kind of get you out of the doldrums here because, of course, that's not a great place to be. It looks like, you look at the emotion that's running through this. Are you kind of paying attention? Or are you kind of just kind of stuck there on the shore? But these cups are spilled. Do not forget. I always like to remind you that you do have some cups that are not spilled. So, that's kind of the, yeah, we have to feel things, but don't get stuck in there. Let's also remember what you do have going for you and a little bit of gratitude there. It's hard to do in that. I understand. Your current situation is the Queen of Wands. So you may have some situation here where you are trying to maybe grasp something in the passion realm, something, and maybe to have some sort of understanding. And it could be maybe there was some sort of betrayal in a realm that really that you're very passionate about. of course, this could be relationship. Not everything is about a relationship. It could be that, that maybe that you're sad that something that you are very passionate about isn't really going in the direction that you wanted it to go in, and you're just feeling a little like, ugh. But again, the energy is gaining momentum. So let's see what the cards say, to see if something's going to change that for you. At the root of your situation is that, yeah, Two of Pentacles here. You're kind of just trying to keep all the balls in the air. And this could be just with this passion thing. It could be, a lot of times this is a card of trying to do this with your finances and kind of your material world. Yeah, just kind of balancing everything. But maybe you're having a little bit of trouble just fitting this thing in. I mean, sometimes life gets busy, and the thing that you love to do just really gets pushed off to the side, and it just gets harder and harder to make time for it. And if that's your case, then maybe we can, let's see what the cards say as the cards come out. If that's the case, you just have to try to cut the things out that aren't important to you. I know a lot of us right now, it's very easy to say, oh, I don't have time to do this, but then kind of track your time on social media every day. How much time are you spending scrolling, on Instagram or Facebook or one of those things. Even YouTube can be bad. I really try to put a video on that I can listen to and then do other things. I might put one on and clean house, or put one on and do a project or paint or do something, or just listen to music. So a lot of times we're on that information overload. But if you're feeling like you don't have enough time to do the thing that you really love doing, sometimes it's just time to it's you have to evaluate how you're spending your time. And it could be that you're just busy. Sometimes life is busier, work's busier, your kids are busy with things, there's stuff going on, and you just don't get to your thing. um, so you just have to work out, figure out what you can kind of push off to the side or do more efficiently so you can have that time. In your recent past is the Empress card, which I swear I'm calling her the star of the readings this week. She has been in the recent past, I can't even tell you, a handful of readings, and if not, she's been over here at the end of people's readings. So I will say with the Empress, of course, this is a card of creativity and nurturing and harvest and things coming in. She's also a card of pregnancy. So, for some of you, this could be about pregnancy. If that's something that you want in your, I mean, it's your recent past. So it could be that you've just had a baby and you are feeling overwhelmed and things, you're just juggling things as things are going along. The other thing she can mean without being physical pregnancy is that it's kind of a long-term project, and this could be with some sort of passion project that it's not something that you do overnight. It's something that takes time for you to chip away at and build upon. And so that's something in your past, and it could be that you're just kind of struggling for that time to get things accomplished. What is on your mind this week is the Knight of Swords. So yeah, some sort of messaging comes in very quickly. I like to point out that this horse looks a little frightened. We look at the knights, when it comes to, or the horses on the knight cards, but these are cards of action, and this is some sort of action in the way of air energy. So some sort of message that's going to come into you, or this could also be something that's on your mind that is just kind of stressing you out. um and again, I just get this feeling that you're feeling pressed for time, that you're feeling, again, like you're trying to juggle everything, and just take a breath. You're making me anxious. So take a breath. Let's figure out how to get you some more time on the planet here, right? And more time in your day and in your week. What is just ahead of you is a new perspective, also very popular in the readings this week. So that's ahead of you is a new perspective. It may be something you gain from this video that you're watching right now, that maybe you do need to just think about how you're spending your time. And if you've never done this, this is a really good idea. They say when you're making a budget, when you're dealing with money, to write down where you're spending all of your money so that you can look at that over a week's or a month's time and decide, oh, here's where I can cut back. Well, you can also do a time budget. And that is where, there's probably trackers on your phone you can do this on, or just get a piece of paper out and, you know, write down, what did you do the first hour when you got up? How do you spend your time all day long? And track that and look over a week. And you might find that, oh, well, when I add this up, I can't believe I've spent 17 hours playing this video game, or I've spent X amount of time doing this thing. When when you're trying to find time to do this passion, don't let the rest of life get in your way, and learn how to focus your time down. Again, it's just like your money. It's just, you want to spend your time in the way that is best for you and your long-term goals here. This is, the Empress is about long-term and things coming together over months and years. So make sure you're spending your time wisely, and if you need to, again, work on a budget and figure out where it's going, go ahead and do that. All right, in your advice position is the Five of Swords, more air energy. So this message comes in, there's something on your mind, or it's just something, it doesn't have to be a message that comes in, it's just something that's on your mind. But your advice is, you know, you might just have to be a little bit more selfish with your time and your mind and your thoughts. This could be maybe your creativity. I know I read this card so differently sometimes. This card is typically winning through underhanded tactics. Okay, we see this person that has their swords and these people in the back that are not too thrilled with whatever has just gone down. But and I see these as words, kind of word daggers that have been thrown, like, and then here and that made me this person cry and this person's walking away. That you've kind of maybe said some things, but I also see these swords that this person in this card that's holding on to is the things that were unsaid. It was the things that, maybe you told someone, hey, or you need to tell someone, because this is in your advice position. I'm sorry, I can't hang out with you this week. I'm trying to budget my time better. I'm sorry, I can't drink beers with you till 2 a.m. I'm trying to get to bed earlier. So, is it that sort of thing? It's almost like, I feel like your advice is to kind of say no to some people. And it could be people that are just intrude on your time. I mean, we all have experienced that. There's people that are just, they're just there a lot. And sometimes you just got to be firm. You don't have to be mean, but you have to be firm. So again, because of your current situation, that you're kind of having a new perspective on how you spend your time and how you budget your time, you may need to just, your advice is to, you need to tell some people, hey, give me a little time, that you just need to do that. What is beyond your control this week is the Ace of Cups. So, you're going to, if you do this, you're also going to do it in a very loving way. It's beyond your control to just probably, I just imagine that you're going to be very apologetic, like, I'm so sorry, I know that we get together every Tuesday and we drink a bottle of wine, but this Tuesday I just can't do it, and can we maybe start doing that every other Tuesday, because I just need the time to focus on this thing for a while. And I'm sure, if these are friends, they're probably, their feelings might be a little bit hurt, but I feel like you're going to frame it in a way that is so loving and kind that they're going to be like, okay, it's fine. So what is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is the 10 of Wands. So, is it your secret desire to push this thing through to the end? And that's why you're having this frustration, to push this passion project. And maybe you just need, like I said, a little bit of time. Or are you trying to avoid pushing this thing to the end? Are you trying to see something through to the end here that you started long ago? And again, you're just trying to scramble for that time to do it. So that's your big question, is, are you ready to push this thing through, or you're trying to avoid pushing that through? And that is going to be what you need to ask yourself. Again, your overall message was that the energy is gaining momentum. I feel like you're getting to a point where, you're about to have a breakthrough and about to have some success at this thing that you've been working on for so long. So don't give up on it. um don't give up on it. And if you need to say no to some things around you, and these don't have to be people, this could be that, let's say we're going to say no to Instagram. Right there, they may cry about it, they're going to get over it, it's going to be fine. This could be Facebook that you're saying no to, or a video game. It's going to be fine, right? In your outcome position is thinking about the future with the Two of Wands, and this is definitely, this card here is about achievement of a goal. And this is kind of you asking, do I stay, or do I go big? Do I go even bigger than what I've just done? So again, if you need the time to achieve this goal, it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to be a little bit selfish with your time. It doesn't have to be permanent. Again, you just ask your friends, family, hey, can I have this little bit of time? I need it to get this thing finished that I've been working on forever. What is hidden from you this week is the Emperor. So the Emperor is about leadership and control. And, The Emperor is about getting stuff done, and that's hidden from you. I mean, this might be something that you do really need to think about. This guy's getting stuff done. If this energy is hidden from you, it could be that is maybe your new perspective, that you're like, okay, this has gone on long enough. I do need to buckle down and get this done. And maybe again, I do get the feeling for some reason that it's about time. It's about, you've put this time and you made a decision long ago to put the time and energy into this thing, and you're just so close. You're just so close. So don't give up on it. And, you know, if you need to lean into this Emperor energy, which is control, stability, getting things done. It's where you just kind of take the world by the, and get things done. So think about that. Think about if that's an energy, especially if it's hidden from you this week. You may need to try to call upon it, or let that be a part of your new perspective. It's like, I just need to get this done. All right, let's get some final messages here. First from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Scorpio, June 29th through July 5th. As they scramble for this time, a wake up call. Okay. Maybe that is what you need, is the wake up call, that you're so close. You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there, and you're almost ready to plan the new thing. So don't give up on it right now. This is a wake up call. And like I said, maybe this tarot reading is the wake up call that you need. Of course, drop me a comment and let me know. We are going to, this is a deck called the Self-Care Wisdom Cards by Cheryl Richardson. And this deck got in front of me, and I thought, let's add these to the readings. I think they're just really nice cards. I really like the messages in them. And, we all need a little bit of self-care. Let's see what is going to pop up for Scorpio here. Scorpio, self-care. What do they need to do this week to take care of themselves? And the card that we're grabbing here, needs. Do you need more time to yourself? A break from thinking too much? A kind encounter with a friend? Your needs matter, and it's time to honor them. And wow, isn't that interesting? After talking about here, what you need to say no to so that you can get the time that you need to work on the thing that you need to work on. Your needs matter. A lot of times, I know we all kind of get into a thing where we're doing so much for other people that we do forget about our own needs. So make sure, if this is the wake up call that you need for that, again, to say no to a few things. It doesn't have to be permanent. It's just until you're getting that final push through, so that you can get here and say, okay, I've accomplished this, and where do I need to focus, and where do I need to go? So Scorpio, I really appreciate your time with me here today. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use for your week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, leave me a comment and let me know. Did you have to evaluate your time this week? What are you finding? Are you wasting your time somewhere? You're finding that you're spending your time somewhere not as important as the things that you really do value and treasure and want to focus on. But you can drop me a comment and let me know, compare notes among other Scorpios there. I do post weekly readings, so come back next week. Do like and subscribe if you like my reading style. It really helps my channel, and of course, it'll help you find me next week. So thank you so much, Scorpio, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.